Lina Medina in 1939. Lina Medina from Peru shocked doctors and the world when she gave birth at only 5 years old. She suffered from a rare condition called precocious puberty, which made her body mature far too early. Her case is still studied today as the youngest confirmed mother in history. Bart Whitaker carefully planned the murder of his own family after a dinner outing. His mother and brother were killed, and his father was badly injured, but survived. The case is remembered as one of the most chilling family betrayals in the United States. Osama bin Laden, a teenager in the 1970s. Osama bin Laden was just another young man smiling in family photographs. No one could have guessed he would later become the most wanted terrorist in the world. He eventually founded Al-Qaeda and orchestrated attacks that changed global history. Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate, believed in pushing the limits of deep-sea travel. In 2023, he was aboard the Titan submersible when it imploded during a mission to the Titanic wreck. The disaster claimed 5 lives and started a worldwide debate about risk, technology, and human ambition. Adolf Hitler's childhood in a classroom photo from 1899. Adolf Hitler sits quietly among other children. At that time, he was just an ordinary boy, unknown to the world. Decades later, he would rise to power, leading Nazi Germany and becoming responsible for millions of deaths. SS guards at Auschwitz. One disturbing photograph shows SS guards laughing and eating berries while taking a break. Behind the image lies a chilling truth. They were returning to Auschwitz, a place of mass killings. The picture reveals the shocking contrast between their normal joy and the crimes they committed. Elizabeth Smartin, 2002, 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped from her home in Salt Lake City, Utah. Her captors forced her to wear a disguise and kept her hidden for 9 months. Her survival and eventual rescue became one of the most widely covered kidnapping cases in modern history. Shaniya Davis in 2009. 5-year-old Shaniya Davis was sold by her own mother to pay a drug debt. She was later found murdered by the roadside, a tragedy that horrified the nation. The crime exposed deep issues of abuse, neglect, and desperation in families. John Wayne Gacy. During the 1970s, John Wayne Gacy often dressed as Pogo the Clown to perform at parties and entertain children. Behind this mask, however, he lived a terrifying double life. He kidnapped and murdered at least 33 young men, becoming one of America's most infamous serial killers. Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander in 2008. Jodi Arias murdered her boyfriend, Travis Alexander, in his Arizona home. Photographs taken on her cameras showed him alive in the shower just minutes before his death. The crime shocked America and led to one of the most publicized trials of the decade. Istvan Reiner was only 4 years old when his photograph was taken, smiling innocently. Shortly after, he was deported to Auschwitz, where he was murdered. His image has since become a symbol of the countless children who were taken from their families and never returned. The haunting photo reminds us how even the youngest lives were destroyed during the Holocaust. Auschwitz, gas chamber marks inside the gas chambers of Auschwitz. Investigators later found deep scratch marks carved into the walls. These marks were left by desperate victims trying to escape as poison gas filled the room. The scratches are silent witnesses to their final moments of terror. Today, the image stands as one of the most powerful reminders of the brutality of genocide. Chris Watson, 2018. Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shannon and their 2 young daughters in Colorado. Outwardly, he seemed like a loving father and husband, but secretly he wanted a new life with another woman. The case shocked the world because of the cruelty and betrayal involved. His chilling interviews before confessing are still studied as examples of deception. Cheyenne Antoine in 2015, Cheyenne Antoine killed her friend Brittany Gargle after a heated argument. Hours before the crime, they had taken a smiling selfie. Together, the same photo later became key evidence, as it showed Antoine wearing the very belt she used to strangle Brittany. The case showed how social media can both hide and expose a killer. Regina Walters was only 14 years old when she fell victim to Robert Ben Rhodes, a truck driver turned serial killer. He photographed her in an abandoned barn, terrified, before killing her. Rhodes was later revealed to have tortured and murdered multiple women across America. Regina's tragic story remains one of the most disturbing examples of cruelty hidden on highways. Perry Smith and Richard Hickok in 1959. Perry Smith and Richard Hickok brutally murdered the Clutter family in their Kansas farmhouse. The crime stunned the small community and left people questioning how such violence could strike so randomly. Their story was later documented in Truman Capote's book In Cold Blood. Even today, the murders are remembered as one of America's darkest true crime cases. Polish girl drawing. Home photograph shows a young Polish girl in a residence for traumatized children after the war. She was asked to draw a picture of home, but instead she drew the barbed wire and watchtowers of the concentration camp where she grew up. The heartbreaking drawing shows how war stole the innocence of children and reshaped their view of the world forever. Joseph Goebbels, Nazi Germany's propaganda minister, was captured in a photo, glaring with hostility after learning the photographer was Jewish. His look of hatred revealed the deep prejudice he promoted across Germany. Goebbels' speeches and films spread anti-Semitic lies that fueled the Holocaust. The image reflects how ideology and hate can be carried in a single glance. Tyler Hadley. In 2011, Tyler Hadley murdered his parents in their Florida home, then invited friends over for a party. Shockingly, his parents' bodies were hidden in a bedroom while teenagers danced and drank just meters away. Some friends even suspected something was wrong, but most ignored the signs. The crime highlighted how disturbed behavior can hide beneath a calm surface. Frederick Bull murdered his wife, Edwina, and hid her body inside a green barrel in their home. Shockingly, he continued living a normal life and even hosted a birthday party with the barrel in plain sight. Guests never realized the terrible secret hidden in the room. The case became infamous for the killer's ability to act ordinary after such a horrific crime. Yukitako Kane Doribus Milimblus. Yukitako shocked Japan after she brutally stabbed her boyfriend during a violent outburst. Images of her calmly smoking, a cigarette beside him, covered in blood, spread quickly online. Instead of only outrage, a strange fan base grew around her, with some people calling her too cute to be a killer. Her case showed how crime, social media, and obsession can twist public perception. Hello Kitty murderer in Hong Kong is remembered as one of the most disturbing crimes of the 1990s. A nightclub worker named Fan Ma Ni was kidnapped, tortured, and eventually murdered by 3 men. Parts of her body were sewn into a Hello Kitty doll, leaving police horrified when they discovered the crime scene. The shocking case still stands as one of Asia's darkest true crime stories. Emilia Sjöberg. In 2024, 14-year-old Emilia Sjöberg from Sweden thought she was heading to a sleepover with friends. Instead, she was lured into a deadly trap and murdered by those she trusted. The betrayal stunned the nation, showing how peer pressure and cruelty among young people can lead to unthinkable violence. Her story became a symbol of how innocence can be destroyed by jealousy and hate. Derek Seehausen, 2014. Derek Seehausen disappeared after a night out in Chicago, leaving behind his wallet, keys, phone, and laptop. Security cameras captured his final movements, but after that, he was never seen again. His case remains unsolved, with no clear answers about whether he was targeted or simply vanished. The mystery still leaves his family searching for truth. Zach Bowen and Addie Hall. Zach Bowen and Addie Hall were a couple living in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. In 2006, Zach killed Addie in their apartment and then confessed through a note before taking his own life. When police entered the apartment, they discovered Addie's body and evidence that parts of her had been cooked. A shocking case revealed the dark collapse of a troubled relationship. Kim Wall, a Swedish journalist, entered a homemade submarine in 2017 with Danish inventor Peter Madsen. She never returned. Later, her torso was found floating in the sea, and Madsen was convicted of her brutal murder. Her death raised questions about safety, trust, and how curiosity in journalism can sometimes lead to deadly encounters. The Radium Girls. In the 1920s, young women were employed to paint watch dials with glow-in-the-dark paint made from radium. They were told the paint was safe, even encouraged to lick their brushes to make finer strokes. Years later, many developed horrifying illnesses like bone decay and cancer. Their suffering exposed the deadly dangers of radiation and forced changes in workplace safety laws. Jesse Shane Kempson and Grace Millane, 2018. British backpacker Grace Millane was traveling in New Zealand when she met Jesse Shane Kempson through Tinder. After a casual date, Kempson strangled her and stuffed her body in a suitcase, later caught on security cameras. Her murder, just one day before her 22nd birthday, shocked the world and brought attention to the dangers of online dating.